Welcome to the Morning Nerdy News. I'm your host, Gray Falcon. You need to go out and earn your stickers. Go out and vote, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't already, go out and vote. Your voice matters, and every vote counts. So if you have someone that you want to see in president, if you have something local going on, such as a school levy or road pavement work or other things that are just out there that you need to have a voice on, go vote. Because it doesn't matter if it's at the local, the state, or the federal level. We need your input to go out there and make the right choice for what your community wants, for what your state wants, and for what's best for your country. So make sure you're out there and making a difference today and clicking that vote. All right, we're going to go ahead and get into the news, and we're going to start off with BlizzCon. So BlizzCon is going to be online free February 19th through the 20th. They have a YouTube video up where you can go and check out all the different little tidbits of information that they're throwing in there, how they feel about this, talking about the fatigue that they feel with having to do this every year and how this is kind of a little bit of a break for them, but it still allows them to get the information out there. So go over, check out this video if you want full details, but otherwise February 19th and 20th for BlizzCon. And then we have a way to win additional DLC for Halo Infinite. That's right, Halo Infinite, which is not coming out next week, unfortunately. And we don't have any clue when it is, given that they just lost another major piece of their team. But if you go and purchase Butterfinger, take a photo of your receipt, and send it in, you can get yourself some DLC for a game that doesn't exist yet. What fun! All right. And then we're going to come over here and we have Saved by Morrowind, Striving for Starfield, Todd Howard, and the Story of Bethesda. And this is a great read over on gameindustry.biz. So I highly recommend you come read through it, or if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, it's got a video that you can watch through, but it's over an hour long, so it's not a short piece. But this talks about Todd Howard's time at the company, how Oblivion basically saved their game studio, how the game kept getting bigger and bigger, what it took for them to actually get where they are today, and why he believes it happened in certain circumstances, why he thinks Skyrim is the biggest game that they've ever had, what caused that. A discussion about Fallout, what happened with that progress, what ended up leading to Fallout 76 and where it got to from there. So this is an incredible read. I highly recommend you come over and check this out. They even give a peek in the video about the new setup for the game, so you'll be able to go in and see kind of the user interface, I guess, and have some information on how the actual game is going to play, because so many bugs and glitches and problems that they've had before and what they're working on to develop that further. So I highly recommend and can't recommend enough to go over there, check out the video, or at least read through the article and find out more about this if you are a huge fan of Bethesda games like I am. And then over into some more console-based news, we get information from Wccftech that Demon's Souls will offer over 180 tips through the PlayStation 5's new Game Help feature. So if you haven't heard about this, the feature allows you to go in, get some additional information on what to do. So you push a little button on there, it pops up, and it goes kind of directs you and gives you hints on how to do things or how to take advantage of that. And this is one of those patents that we saw pop up earlier this year that kind of, it seemed a little weird that and came across like maybe they're going to charge for this type of thing. So basically it's a guide within the game built into this help feature. So you'll be able to go through, you get stuck on a part, you can pop up the help feature and help give you some direction on where to go, what to do while you're in there. So this is a great place to start, especially for a game that already kind of had a help feature where people who were there prior could die and leave little notes in order to try and help guide you. But at times, sometimes they would also leave notes to misdirect you. So take a look at this. let me know how this feature works once the PlayStation 5 comes out. We were discussing getting Demon's Souls, but my son, who's the one who primarily wants to play it, was happy to just keep playing the PlayStation 3 edition rather than going up to the PlayStation 5 edition for whatever reason. The reason is he doesn't want to sit in the living room with all of us watching him play. We're going to move over to more PlayStation news with God of War Ragnarok PS5 is Game of the Year 2021 material. Dev boasts team working on something special and crazy. So just another little blurb here. This comes from someone who is testing the game, and they're saying that the game is absolutely incredible, that this is basically going to be the game of the year for next year, which is a big boast considering that this is going up against other games like Far Cry 6. Supposedly Sony's other game, Horizon, is supposed to be out. We don't know for sure. We have one little blurb from the game developers that the plan is to have it out next year. However, no official announcement over on Sony's page, over on PlayStation. There's nothing that has been stated directly from Sony other than one developer saying the expectation is next year. So we'll see if that actually comes true or if that ends up becoming more of a 2022 game so as to not compete with itself for Game of the Year with God of the War. We'll find out. And then PlayStation 5 Resident Evil Village to run at dynamic 4K with ray tracing on PS5, but it doesn't give frame rates. So this is one of those ones where we want to know, yes, can it do 4K? Can it do ray tracing? Does it have all the nice new high-end features that are coming in here? But unfortunately, it doesn't mention frame rates. This doesn't do us any good if you go to 4K and turn on ray tracing and all of a sudden you're getting 15-20 frames per second. It's a real laggy. You could have all kinds of issues with gameplay. If it's 30, a lot of people can find that acceptable for some games depending upon what your preferences are. So it definitely does not state 60 anywhere in here. And I feel like if they were getting 60 frames per second, it would have been made a big deal of. So I wouldn't expect it that high unless whoever was giving these quotes and talking about this just overlooked that. Maybe it's still kind of in development for that upgrade and they're trying to get there, but I honestly would not expect 4K ray tracing at 60 frames per second with this. I would hope for 30, but it could be worse. But then we have a little bit of a counter on this one with Ori, where Ori and the Will of the Wisps renders at 6K on Xbox Series X. It says devs boast stunning image quality. So 6K isn't really a thing. It's weird that they mention 6K. Maybe they're just trying to say that if you're running at 4K, it runs at a higher resolution in the background, so you're going to get cleaner, crisper picture. I don't know what the whole point of saying 6K is for something that doesn't really exist. In fact, I don't even know if there are monitors that are 6K. As far as I know, it goes 4 and directly jumps to 8. Now, if I'm wrong on that, let me know. Maybe post a link and say, hey, here's a 6K monitor. But I don't expect that to be prevalent anytime soon anyways. We're just getting to the point that we can do proper 4K at a high frame rate, and then we're throwing in things like ray tracing and other high quality things that oftentimes require DLSS in order to even assist in acquiring good frame rates on those things. So we'll find out. But if you are a fan of Ori, a big fan of platformers, and you just want this game to look better than it already did, here's your confirmation that this game will look good and will run well on the Xbox Series X or S. And then we have an update on Godfall for PC. And Godfall 4K Ultra textures require 12 gigs of VRAM on PC, says the developer. Apparently, they've been working closely with AMD in the development of this game. And this is one of those things that get you a little worried that if you are on an Nvidia card, Nvidia, unless you jumped all the way up to the 3090, which is more of a workstation type card than truly intended for gaming, it's you don't have anything with 12 gigs of VRAM on there. You get 10 in the 3080, and it all goes down from there. All of AMD's cards, though, were built with 16. It's one of those things that has us a little worried that, and including Wccftech, that the 10 gigs may cause this to struggle with actual high-end performance, given that this was engineered to take advantage of so much of the RAM. So when this game comes out, maybe we'll pick it up and see where it falls. This isn't exactly one of the hottest new games that are out there, but it is one of the best looking new games from the things that have been shown, because this game has been very focused on ray tracing and trying to give that very aesthetically pleasing look for gameplay. I don't know how popular it's going to be, but it makes you want to take a look, makes me want to go and pick it up just to see how well does my graphics card run this if I am short of the 2 gigs of VRAM. So we'll look into that more in the future. And then the final piece of news, we have Elon Musk says Tesla may reveal Cybertruck Changes in a month or so. Now, originally, this was supposed to be reduced in size. We have quotes from other interviews with Elon Musk on this, and they were talking about reducing the overall size of the Cybertruck because of how large it was. But now they're saying that the overall size is not going to change on it, that it just required cutting out more than they wanted to in order to provide a proper sized vehicle for what they wanted to accomplish. So a lot of the changes are minor. Now there are several slight changes, they say, but all of these changes add up to a big difference. And keep in mind, if you haven't ordered this summer, the autopilot went from 7,000 for full self-driving all the way up to 8,000. And now that they have the full self-driving in beta in certain states and certain vehicles, they're bumping it up to $10,000. So the price on the full self-driving just keeps getting higher and higher. So all of a sudden that $40,000 Cybertruck with full self-driving is now a $50,000 vehicle for one motor and a smaller battery that only gets you 250 miles. So I don't know what you think about that, but given the competition, given that the new EV Hummer has come in and it's only 250 miles for the base version that's coming out in 3 years, it does get 2 motors, so it does have a little bit more pickup and go, but it doesn't go any further than that for twice the price. It still seems like a good deal if you enjoy the very cyberpunk look of this vehicle. That's going to be it for today. We'll probably be back on gaming again later on today. I've already gone out and done my voting, so make sure if you haven't already, go out and do your voting. And remember, it is Thanksgiving time. Go out, give to someone in need. Make sure that you're out there giving socks, pants, jackets, coats. Help keep kids warm this winter. Make sure people have enough food to eat given this time of year. And just do something for your community to help everyone out. Remember, click the follow button if you haven't already. If you're watching this over on YouTube, make sure you click the subscribe button. And follow me on Twitter as The Gray Falcon. Until next time, have a good one.